And in fact, if we'd actually put who wrote what, when Pete actually left, there wouldn't have been such sort of cries of, well, that's it for them, you know, as there were. Because they'd have seen that a lot of favourite songs were written by, or at least had nothing to do with Pete. It was an era. I think everything we did with Pete in that sort of much more theatrical stage, I really enjoyed. I really believed in, bar a couple of things. But I mean, that was an era. We wouldn't do, even if we were with Pete, we wouldn't be doing it now.
Right. What was the reason he left? Did he give you any reason?
Yeah, I mean, it's a million reasons, but basically I think the most important reason, which no one really says, is that there comes a point when you no longer want to be in a group. You know, a group is always a compromise, and there just comes a time when you want to work on your own.
Do you feel compromised now?
Yeah, the group's always a compromise. Don't mean I'm feeling frustrated. It's pretty satisfying at the moment. It's just that what you lose in terms of compromise, you have to gain in terms of sort of combined effort. And the three of us produce something together when we write that no individual could actually do on their own, which is really... And the last album felt very good to do, actually.
Mike, can you remember buying your first guitar?
Yeah. What's the story behind that?
Well, actually, at the start, the first one was just, the second one's got more of a story. The first one was a little nylon one I got when I was 8. Parents bought me. And then when I was about 10, I went to get an electric guitar. Which maybe I was now probably a bit younger. And I didn't realise, you see, I didn't realise that electric guitars had amplifiers. I'd always seen cartoons, you know, when it was like the son of the family playing in the living room with all the noise and the father complaining, you know. And he had a guitar a plug from his guitar in the cartoons, used to go in the wall, right? So I didn't know there were guitars and amplifiers. I'd never heard of amplifiers. I thought they were like acoustic guitars or electric guitars. You know, electric guitars are just different. So I went into the shop to buy one, and he said, "What sort of amplifier do you want?" And I said, "I don't want an amplifier, I want an electric guitar, you know, the one you plug in the wall." And I got quite a shock. I don't think everything changes you, but I mean, I'm not particularly conscious of... You see, everyone talks about newfound success. If you actually look at the Genesis sort of history, we've never ever gone whoosh anywhere. You know what I mean? It's always been slow, and some years have gone a bit faster than others. But there's never been a period where we've suddenly, like a group has a monster hit single or something, and you suddenly roar up from nowhere.
Well, isn't Duke a monster album for you?
Yeah, but if you look at the albums before and you look at the sort of curve, I'm sounding very technical, you know. I mean, I don't really look at it this way. I don't look at curves and graphs. But if you look at our sort of growth in Canada, yeah, this is one of the bigger jumps. But it's still not out of, you know, it's still not crazy. It's still something that's been building. It's not from nowhere in a sense, if you know what I mean.
5 years old and your parents buying you a tin drum.
Oh, yeah.
And having to hide it downstairs because you were making so much noise on it?
Yeah. No, I mean, I've never really wanted to do anything else, to be honest. In fact, I know I'd never wanted to do anything else. I mean, I was given the drum. I remember my Uncle Ernie giving me the drum, and then my other two uncles made me a drum kit out of, with triangles, tambourines, you know, they just made 2 bits of wood like that and got 4 poles, and they stuck as much percussive stuff on it as they could. And it all fitted into a suitcase.
Any kid who would trade his train set for a set of drums had to be really hooked on it.
Yep, I sold me drum kit. We sold me a train set, and my mum and dad put the rest of the money, and I got my first proper drum kit.
Who were your heroes back then?
Drumming-wise?
Yeah.
Well, I remember the first 2 records I played, I used to get the record player behind me and turn out as loud as I could and just play along. My heroes were, I mean, went from Brian Bennett of the Shadows, Bobby Elliott of the Hollies, Robert Henry with the Roulettes, who's now got his own drum store in London.
Now that you're at the level that you've achieved, who are people that you have respect for?
Tony Williams, who scares me to death. I mean, she was actually at the Townhouse when I was recording my album. And I actually left the room because I was so scared of him.
How do you feel about the powerhouse rock drummers, people like Moon and Bonham?
Moon, I got great respect for Moon. In fact, I rang up Pete Townsend when Moon died and said, could I join? But unfortunately, he'd already had Kenny Jones, so... But it started off, actually, a relationship with Townsend, and I'm doing his next album. So it was worth it in the end. But, I mean, I would like to have played with The Who, because I think Kenny Jones is a bit lame.